And welcome back to the finale of Sonic 2, where today we'll be covering the last 3 acts of the game, the boring as hell waste of time Sky Chase, the only level to have a difficult boss, Wing Fortress, and then the finale of the game, Death Egg, which is just 2 boss fights back to back. Yeah, I'm aware I could probably have easily put this into the last video and just made Sonic 2 2 parts long, but with how unhealthy I was yesterday, with how unwell I was yesterday, I didn't think it was wise for me to carry on any longer than I needed to, so I eventually just decided to make the split and make it into 3. I'm not 100% today either, but I'm a lot better than I was yesterday. Like, I haven't got the headache, it's just more in my throat now. So I can concentrate a bit harder as we go through possibly the worst zone in the Sonic series. The one that's extremely overhyped, extremely over-enjoyed, and is an absolute waste of time. Sky Chase. And the worst part is, this isn't the only time they do it in the series. They brought this shit back for Sonic 4, and it was as boring there as it is here. And then they brought it back for Mania, and at least Mania they tried to spice it up by making you go on a train halfway through it, but it didn't change the fact that it was still bloody Sky Chase, and it was to be as drag of a level in the game. I've never been a fan of the idea of Sky Chase. I think it's the worst batch of levels in the Sonic series, and I wholeheartedly feel that way. Like, no level is a straight up momentum killer the way the Sky Chase levels are for Sonic. Nothing in Sonic 1 is as strong a momentum killer as this shit stain, because you're literally stuck into doing this level for the 2 minutes it is. You're stuck going at this pace. There is no alternative, there is no way around it. You've just got to put up with this shit. Despite the propellers on the top of the badniks there, you can bounce off them, so don't be worried about having to try and hit them side on or from underneath or anything, because it's just going to cause pain. But we're nearly done with this shit stain. It's about 2 minutes long it takes, so we're nearly there. But this should have been the only Sky Chase-esque level. And what's worse is that they actually bring it back in the adventure titles as well when they first went 3D. And they were not even any better. Like, in fact, I would actually argue they were worse, because they're just such time killers. Anyway, this is Wing Fortress. The interesting part of Wing Fortress is that this level can be incredibly long or incredibly short, entirely depending on whether or not you take one specific shortcut or not. Which, for the sake of showing how short this can be, I will show it off, even if it would probably make this video even smaller than it needs to be. But I'll take that. Also, that might be something interesting, because I was watching part 1 and part 2 backwards on it, and I noticed every time I got the shield, you either could only see the shield but not Sonic, or you couldn't see the shield full stop. And it's because, similar to the Chaos Emeralds when we got them in Sonic 1 and the old time we get this in this, they flicker in between frames. Like, every frame it flickers. And so every second frame, it's either existing or either not existing. And since this game, or any game on the PS4, records at 30, regardless of whether the game's actually on 60 or not, you either see a solid object or you see nothing at all. It depends on which one of those 2 frames it catches it on. Also, you might see I did take the shortcut. It's how I lost my shield, and then we're done. When I ran into that propeller so I could skip it, I skipped about over half the level, and we're done in a minute 20. Now, this boss is the only one that's difficult, and I am prepared to accept my only death across the 2 Sonic games will almost definitely be to this prick, so I always die at least once. Oh, and the laser's flickering as well, so I'm curious to see if you guys can actually see the laser or not. Because it'll either be a solid beam, or you won't see anything at all when it's happening. If you can't see anything, just know every time it's glowing and I'm moving away from it, that's why. And also, the beam itself only moves when the laser's being shot out. So that'll be your other hint. Like, once the beam comes out, it sits still, and then once the laser activates, that's when it moves. I'm surprised I haven't died yet. Like, look how close I'm being. Like, I'm definitely gonna die. Oh, I should have died there. I definitely touched that spike. Come on, where is it? When's my death? You know it's gonna happen. Oh, shit. Okay, I just jumped straight through that. Oh, fuck. Oh, there we go. Alright, attempt 2. Do you want to place your bets how many attempts this will take me? Because I always die at least once to this guy. Which is weird, because in a lot of other people's eyes, this boss isn't that hard either. And I completely get that. It's not that hard of a boss fight. I'm just impatient, and it ends up getting me killed. And it's like the only boss in the whole trilogy that regularly kills me at least once. That time I just got fucking screwed, so I'm just going to accept that death and start again because it's way too early. Go on, attempt 3. I'll get it this time. We're still making up for the length in that shortcut. Right, 1. Because I have to start counting the hits to know how close I'm getting. Because in standard Sonic Affair, in every single Sonic game that's like ever existed ever, except the, like, some of the 3D ones, 8 hits is the magic number. In the two Rush games, or I want to say the advanced games as well, but I might be wrong because I only ever played Rush on easy just because of the final boss being an absolute pain in the dick. But in the Rush games, if you put the game to easy, it lowered it to 6. Oh, and the boss is dead anyway. There are a couple exceptions in the series, like the final boss we're about to come up to. I want to say it's more than 8 hits, but I can't remember how many it is, so I'll probably count it when we get to it. And I want to say that the final boss of Sonic 3 Standard is more than 8 hits, but I can't remember the big arm. Because I rarely play Sonic 3 Standard nowadays. I only play it if I don't have another choice. And don't get me wrong, I love Sonic 3 Standard as is, because it's what I grew up with as a kid. I didn't know of Sonic 3 and Knuckles until the Mega Drive Plus collection. I only had Sonic 3 on the Mega Drive when I was little. Or the Genesis for you Americans. And I played the shit out of Sonic 3, so I still enjoy Sonic 3 Basic for what it is, especially that credits theme. As much as I'm not the biggest fan of Michael Jackson's music, I still thoroughly enjoy, as my throat keeps on dying, I still thoroughly enjoy what he did for the soundtrack in Sonic 3. I keep on seeing these news articles recently talking about how come he was never credited for it. So, well, that's because of the controversy surrounding him. The game came out around the time he was accused of kid fiddling. No wonder he wasn't associated with it. And it's also that Michael Jackson didn't like Sonic 3, what the Mega Drive's music processor did to his music. Also, this is Silver Sonic, piece of piss boss. You can be, if you're struggling with the boss fight, do exactly what you just saw me do there. Do a spin dash where he's going to land, count the 4 with the hit, and then release. And on the other side, you can just bounce on him to death if you just don't go too far to the left of him, because the spikes spinning on the back are painful. This is the actual final boss. Something worth noting, the spikes on his right arm, the arm that you can't see on screen because he's facing us to the left, are the ones that have the bigger hurt box than the ones that you can see on his left, like facing us. So use that to advantage when he's walking around to get free hits. He always follows a pattern of walking 3 steps forward, 1 step back, jumping up, landing, shooting his arms out if you're in front of him, shooting these little bombs behind him if you're behind him. What determines what direction he faces is where he is in position into the middle of the screen. If you're on the left side of the screen, he'll land facing right. When you're on the right side of the screen, he'll land facing left. But once he's done that attack, he'll jump up again, land again, and then repeat the cycle of walking. Every time he drops down is a free guaranteed hit. If you get him to land on the far side or one side of the screen, you can completely avoid having to deal with any of his attacks, because none of his attacks will reach you on the other side of the screen. So sit on one side, move to the other. Like I said, be wary of the spikes in the back. The spikes in the front do have a hitbox as well, but it's nowhere near as big, so you can get away with it. And there we go, it's dead. I think that was like 8 hits actually. It might have been like 10, but I stopped counting, to be honest. I was explaining the boss. And that's it, that's Sonic 2. You get this cute little ending cutscene that I'll at least show up before, even though there's no voice acting. and that's Sonic 2. I actually enjoyed coming back to this, even though I still despise the special stages and think Sky Chase is a complete waste of time. I enjoyed it for what it was. It's still completely topped by Sonic 3, the first two Advanced games, even though Advanced 2 is a bit more opinionated, because a lot of people could argue Advanced 2 is not better. And obviously Mania, but Mania has a 25-year advantage. It's still a very fun game to come back to for what it is, and it kind of was what made Sonic iconic. Yeah, Sonic 1 was successful and enjoyed by many people who got it, but Sonic 2 was the one where it became Sonic. It became like the icon. It became Mario's rival and the true successor to the Mario games. And take it as someone who actually enjoys Mario and tries to put my bias aside, the OG Mario games compared to the OG Sonics, I'll take Sonic any day of the week. I've always enjoyed the Sonic games more than the Mario games. The grasp of momentum, being able to master a level and speedrun it, being able to overcome the difficulty, because they are more difficult than some of the Mario games, that's for certain. And having a clever and effective system of the whole rings. Because keep in mind, this game originally had quite a revolutionary way of handling its difficulty. As long as you had one ring, you could take a hit. It was the moment you lost all your rings, you took a hit, then you died. With the exception of Crushers, Bottomless Pits, and that's about it, actually. Oh, and one of the attacks that Big Arm does in Sonic 3. There's an attack where he tries to grab you. If he grabs you and slams you down, it will hurt you regardless of invincibility. Like, if you somehow got the stars there, or you have your Supersonic when you do it, he'll hit you and knock you out of Supersonic. It's kind of jarring to see. It is not a glitch, because they kept it in every single version of the game. They genuinely just wanted to make you be terrified of Big Arm. But still, like, I doubt I need to tell you that Sonic 2 is fun. Anyone watching this, I almost guarantee you've played at least a little bit of Sonic 2. Because it's such a universal game. It's just such a shame that it always gets put first instead of Sonic 3, despite the fact Sonic 3 is a vastly superior game. And I hope that one day Sonic 3 and Knuckles will get the treatment it deserves and will be on either PS4 or, at this rate, I'm thinking PS5 when that comes out at the end of next year, with it being backwards compatible and all. And I get to show you the majesty that is Sonic 3 and Knuckles in all its glory. But until then, thank you guys for watching both the Sonic games, and I don't know how long it'll be before my next project. I've got a long ways to go with what I want to record and what I want to do, but until then, you guys take care now.